Hello guys, welcome to Stories, the Path of Destinies. This is an action RPG. The first part of the story is the tutorial, so let's just get started.
Once upon a time, the infamous rover Reynardo plundered the floating isles. Then his mother called him to her deathbed. "Swear to me that you won't die on the gallows," she rasped. Reluctantly, he swore. And he whiled away his days at home with music, cards, and wine. But the Emperor had changed. He'd been good once, a shy, almost humble toad. He'd built universities. Then people started whispering about mass graves in the woods, midnight rituals, victims screaming. The Imperial Ravens would round up entire villages, and no one ever returned. The Ravens had come to Ubar scouting for ancient books said to be of great power. But the librarians had hidden the books, so they'd burnt the librarians. The citizens, outraged, had driven them off. The Ravens had come back with dropships. The kid had fled with one of those books. He was brave and dumb and wanted to join the rebellion. And Reynardo had promised his mother he'd protect him. The kid was looking down, watching his city burn. "Sorry, kid," Reynardo told the kid. "Look, if we give them the book, they'll leave you alone." "My mother died for this book!" "I promised her I'd protect you." "Oh, damn it." The kid had run off. With the book, of course. So Reynardo had to run after him.
I like that the tyrant is a toad. So apparently Toad is looking for books and the kid has one of them.
The two ravens were staring at the kid like he was their dinner, which probably was what was in their tiny brains. "Hey," Reynardo said. They cocked their heads at him. "Pick on someone as ugly as you." Wait, that didn't come out right. "For the Emperor!" The ravens cawed and rushed at him.
So press X to attack. When an enemy is about to attack, left stick and X to counter. I'm playing on the Xbox One controller on PC. This is the Steam version of the game. Let's try and counter something here. There, we got one. I guess I should have counted that one as well. There we go. I just got hit twice. Just counter the next one. There we go. If you keep beating on the same one, eventually the other one will hit me.
A dropship flew overhead. He hoped they hadn't noticed him. The kid.
Hold X to grab, and then aim with the left stick, and release X to throw. So let's grab this guy here. Throw him over. Let's grab this one. Over you go. It's funny that they can't fly the ravens. You wouldn't think that a raven would have that big of a problem being thrown over. It'll just flap its wings.
Oh, right. The Gate of Heroes. Someone's idea of a joke. Making the Skyship docks a gated community. You needed a hero's sword to open it. And the kid was on the other side of the gate. "Who let you through? Promise me you'll take the book to the rebels, or I'm gonna steal your ship." "I'm not taking that damn book anywhere, and neither are you." "Try and stop me," laughed the kid. "I bet you don't even have a hero's sword." And with that, the kid hopped away. Had to hand it to the kid. He was an idiot, but he had guts. Where was Reynardo going to get a hero sword?
Wrong sword, so I can't hit that way, so let's go left. The camera pretty much seems fixed. I can't really rotate it on the right stick. So I can't look at the environment, which is a little bit of a shame. This is very nice looking.
Ore and wind essence? That sounds about right. I'll need a workshop though.
There's a workbench.
Perfect.
Select the sword here. This is the sword crafting menu. Here you can craft and upgrade powerful magic swords, gather the required materials from the chests scattered throughout Boreas. The selected sword's current level and special power. So the next level for this sword is look badass. And we happen to have free resources, so let's just do it.
A hero sword. QED.
So that solved the problem with the gates. And we don't have any gems, it seems. So let's head back up.
This is what he got for settling down and finding people to care about. The kid's mum had been a swell cook and she'd laughed at Reynardo's jokes, even when he didn't know he'd made one. And then the ravens had come to burn her. And she'd made him promise to protect the kid. But she never told him where the book was. Just the kid.
Have to head up the bridge here. I really wish I would be able to look around the environment here.
He came up to a ledge. It was too far to jump. There'd been a bridge here before, hadn't there? And there was Peter, giggling at him. "How'd you get across?" he asked the kid. "Where'd you find a hook?" "I hopped," said the kid. Wise-ass kid. "Hey, look out behind you!" "Cute," said Reynardo. Ah, ravens.
More flightless ravens. Let's see if we can take them out. Ah, I tried to counter the wrong one. So there's the right one. Counter that one as well. There's just one left, that's easy.
It was time to talk some sense into the kid. Just hook his way across the ledge and chase the kid down. Thing was, he hadn't used his hook since he'd retired. How had he done it? Maybe if he meditated at that altar there, he'd remember his old skills.
Each time you gain a level, you also gain a skill point. So let's see what we can get. There are 4 tiers of skill. The more truths you discover, the more tiers you unlock. I guess that's the books, because there were 4 books. So here we get a description. There's no description there though. Yeah, we know we have a skill point, so let's spend it. And all of these are locked, so we can only spend it here. On the first one, which happens to be the hook that we need, very conveniently.
It was starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot, like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
So you can hook these posts, make it across the chasm, or we can hook the ravens. Let's just try that. There we go. I just want to see if there is any way we can look around. Take a look at the controls here. It doesn't look like we can look around in the environment. We get a dash on A if you unlock that. That's really a sad thing, because right here, for example, I really would like to just move the camera around and look at everything. Right, let's cross the chasm.
And there was the Farfarer. She was the fastest ship he'd ever known. She could do the Kestra run in 12 furlongs. Oh, so the salesman had told him. And something told him the kid was about to walk into an ambush. "Stop!" he shouted. "I'm not giving you the book!" shouted the kid, and took off. "No! Peter!" The kid ran for it, and a goggler nailed him with its ivy.
Got killed by the eye of the beholder there. Let's see if we can use the hook on it, maybe. Apparently not. I think we died. Okay, so we have to stealth around it, I guess. We start from checkpoint, so we start right here, so it's not a big deal. Just run past. I was going to hook it right in the face.
The book was unburned. Next to it were the buckles from the kid's shoes and a kid-sized pile of ashes. Damn it. Why hadn't he lied and told the kid he'd take the book to the rebels? The kid would be alive now. Really pissed off and betrayed, but alive. Oh, damn it. Reynardo picked up the book. He couldn't let the Empire have it now. He was going to have to get it out of there. He'd be a wanted man. Probably have to join the rebellion just to have a place to dock. Well, he'd hated home life anyway.
So the kid looks like Frosty the Snowman, all melted in summertime. Let's check these crates. Might be something in them. Nothing though. And we already grabbed the book, I guess. So we can't do anything with the melted kid. Just see if these can ever contain something. Ah, here's something. Health.
What was the big deal about this book anyway? Maybe he should open it and find out. All that had been years ago. How many? The war was a blur, and now 3 Raven scout ships were chasing him. "Where are you running, rebel?" cawed the Raven captain over the loudhailer. Reynardo could see them cranking up their catapults. "Just going out for milk?" Reynardo yelled back. "Where can you run?" laughed the Raven horribly. Far behind him, another city was burning. The dark cloud above its island was thousands of Imperial ships. The fleet was doing a thorough job. "Take us to the rebel base! I will spare your life!" it cawed. The entire jury-rigged rebel fleet was only a few islands to the east. Beyond that were only the pillars of heaven. A sea of endless blood-colored tornadoes. The rebellion was out of time. Unless Reynardo could bring a game-changer. Maybe he could. Reynardo had found out where he could find the pieces of the Sky Ripper, the legendary weapon that had exiled the lost gods. Surely a legendary weapon could win the final battle. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino had sent Reynardo a desperate message saying he had a brilliant scheme to save the rebellion. If Reynardo could only rescue him. Reynardo dived the Farfarer towards the abyss. As he felt the heat of the jet stream, the Raven ships peeled off, not stable enough to follow him down there. Now it was time to choose. Lapino or the Sky Ripper.
Ah, so we get a choice here. The first one is you can't make new old friends. The rebellion was out of time and Reynardo needed a game changer. Even though Lapino wasn't what anyone would consider a game changer. He's just a bunny. He would come up with some harebrained schemes, I guess so. Maybe rescuing him was worth it, or we could go build the Sky Ripper. An ancient artifact that defeated the Lost Gods would indeed be a game changer, though it was split into 2 pieces many years ago. Reynardo could rebuild it by first getting its armature. Let's go build the Sky Ripper.
Every child knew about the Sky Ripper. The Transcendent Emperor had buried its pieces. What could have brought them to light? This Emperor, Isengrim III, had once been kind, but he'd gone mad. And now he was conducting secret, obscene rituals to bring back the lost gods. Had he, somehow, summoned the long-lost components of the legendary weapon out of the deep places of the earth? It was more than Reynardo could fathom. But if he could find a legendary weapon, he would use it. As he set foot on the island, Reynardo could not help but feel a tinge of guilt. He'd left Lapino behind. He hoped the Mad Rabbit had somehow escaped the Ravens. He hoped they hadn't eaten him. If they had, he hoped they hadn't eaten him alive. Why had he chosen the Sky Ripper? Reynardo never made plans that required constant vigilance. He was a hero. He didn't think too much. He just went with his gut and hoped it all worked out. The Sky Ripper was a long shot. He'd have to devote himself to it. No side journeys, no rescuing old friends. That was against his nature. Could he stick with it?
So you just have to head in here, no problem. Find the Sky River armature and not get caught in the vision of these guys. Run past him here. That one almost spotted us. And here's a lever to activate.
A lever? That was new. Most people still use doorknobs.
So we have the wrong sword to open that door. So that one turns around. And so does that one. And hit through here maybe? Maybe not. Make it to the next lever.
The people who had built this castle, did they even know what monstrous weapon lay hidden within their walls? The Sky Ripper could destroy anything it touched, or so the legend said. As the Transcendent Emperor had fought the lost gods, thousands had died. But Reynardo had been through wars. The only merciful war was a short one. Reynardo's blood was up. He just needed to smash something.
So we can find ore also here. That means you pretty much have to smash all of this stuff to make it, to be sure to get all of the ore. Let's just check if we have anything here. We can get dash now. But first we have to get a point to spend. And let's just see. We had a workbench, but that was further back, but we didn't have any ore then. So I guess if we had smashed more stuff, we could have had 3 more ore at this point.
Hero wall, hero sword, ice wall, ice cube.
So we need another sword for that. Let's just continue. Maybe get a little bit of a fight. So I think I parried that guy. And this one. Ah, got a little bit too aggressive there. But this is somewhat problematic because we don't have dash. So it's all about parrying.
One small step for a fox, he thought.
Yeah, we have to parry and not get overly aggressive at all. Just parry, get in a couple of swings, and then wait for the next parry. Like there's a parry. They charged at the same time. But we can switch targets to parry very quickly, so... Like here, we can parry the next one. And the one from behind. So it's all about quick parrying, really. You do get a lot of time to parry.
Reynardo had learned so much about... Ooh, what was it again?
So it seems like you can even parry mid-swing from another direction. So in that way you're not that committed when you do overextend with too many swings. So we're down to half health, so next fight will probably be hard. I'm not exactly sold on these little stealth elements here. Okay, so might as well just die and give it another shot.
Time to die, he thought. And it was.
Doesn't look like it's any penalty at all to dying, so might as well just do that to get health back up. Let's see if we can get past the second floor here. I think we'll just run around here. Only 5 health left. take out this guy before his friends comes. So very easy when they just come at you one at a time. So might be able to do this with just 5 health points left. Get a little combat report there. Almost enough XP to level up. We could get the dash ability.
Ah, a puzzle. Reynardo loved puzzles, except when he couldn't figure them out. On the other hand, if there was a puzzle, it was probably meant to keep people away from something good.
I happen to agree with Reynardo. I only like puzzles when they're easy. Said this way. As a chest. Tons of minerals and fire essence. I think we need that to upgrade.
Who made all these ore chests anyway? Well, you could have quite a business team, huh?
So if we die now, I'm not sure that we will get to keep the ore that we just found. We might have to go back and get it again at the chest. Unless we make it to the next save point. And here's a conveniently placed altar. And we just happen to have 1 skill point, so we'll get dash.
It was starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot. Like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
So I can dash, and it takes some stamina. That looks like the armature.
There it was. Skyripper's armature. The stuff that dreams are made of. Engineers' dreams, anyway. The device was intricate. No one alive had the skill to make a thing like it. How was it part of a weapon at all? He'd have to ask a scientist. But first, he'd get the second piece. Skyripper had a heart. A core that had come to rest on the next island. Well, there was another island he could reach. Zenobia had just invaded it with her father's Raven battalions. She must be encamped there still. But fighting Zenobia now, that made no sense at all. He'd already sacrificed one friend to get this armature, was it? He didn't need to hurry to face her. She would find him.
So we got a choice again here. For some inexplicable reason, Reynardo chose Zenobia. Reynardo has found the armature of the Skyripper. Without the core, it would just be an empty and useless shell. Maybe he should go see Zenobia, who had just invaded a city nearby. She was the Emperor's adopted daughter and greatest general, but she was also his old friend. Reynardo didn't know why, but he felt the urge to go see her. Or we could do this one. The only reason one would seek the armature was to build the legendary weapon that had once banished the Lost Guards. Obviously, Reynardo should get the core. Let's go see Zenobia.
Reynardo asked himself why he changed course to confront Zenobia. He'd no idea. Sometimes he would just do things, and he could never figure out why he'd done them. Usually, they worked out. After all, he was a hero. The truth is, though, he wanted to see her, wasn't it? It had been a dozen years since Swordfu School. He'd followed every rumor about her, every scrap of news. Not that he still loved her. After all, she was his enemy. No, it was solely because know your enemy. But it would be great to see her, even if they faced off across sword points as they'd done so many times at school. The world was a less interesting place without her. wished that somebody had been watching.
So we actually have the armature following us around there. Of the Sky Ripper. So we got a little friend. Wrong sword. We need a better sword for that. I can't break those. Ah, not these stealthy fuckers again. I hate those. We only have 15 health points, so being seen at all would kill us. We have to wait for that one to turn around. This is a little bit problematic, I think. Ah, it heads to the right there. Ah, where's that one going? It's heading this way, so we can run past these guys, I think. Yeah. So we just need them to turn around now. And maybe we'll run through the middle.
Reynardo wasn't entirely sure how he was going to capture Zenobia. She'd be expecting him. And he didn't have Lapino to cook up a clever plan. Why was it again that he hadn't got the core?
So I wonder what these gems are. Gem socketing. This is the gem socketing menu. Here you can equip powerful gems that will augment both your offensive and defensive capabilities. Your gauntlet has 3 sockets into which you can put gems. Select one of the sockets to see the gems. And we don't have any gems at all, so that doesn't really matter. Each gem has 3 levels and its effect increases with each level. Picking up a gem you already have will automatically upgrade that gem's level. You can find gems in the chests scattered throughout Boreas if you are lucky enough. Yeah, we don't have any, so let's just head back out. Take a look at the swords. So we need 30 ore for the next upgrade. And we already have the wind essence. So we can't do anything at the workbench.
Reynardo felt a little better.
Wrong sword for that one. I wonder if you have to backtrack a lot of these areas once you actually get the right sword in order to gather more materials. Another thing that is a little bit strange to me is that the only enemy we have seen so far is the ravens. I'm stuck here for some reason. I can't head that way. Maybe they put up this blue wall. So now I have to be careful. Getting low on health. So far, all combat is just trying to get some parries and taking out the ravens.
All coming back to him. He wondered what he'd remember next.
Can we go back this way? I guess not, so we can't go level up at the altar. But I think it's a little bit strange that the only enemy so far we've encountered is the ravens. Maybe there are not that many enemy types in the game. We can interact with the ship here.
Reynardo slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. Where were her guards? Finally, he reached her bedroom. She was curled up on her bed. Oh, he'd forgotten how beautiful she was. How sleek, how soft. He tapped her on the shoulder with his sword. She vanished, and he suddenly noticed he couldn't move except his mouth. In fact, Sudi couldn't keep his mouth shut. He told Zenobia everything. Sky Ripper, the rebellion plans, even where the secret rebel base was, until he was hoarse. It was some kind of truth spell. A talky truth spell. She called her father by Farspeaker Toad and filled His Majesty in. But why didn't he get the core? Croaked the Farspeaker in something like His Majesty's croak. Because I missed you, darling. Reynardo grinned. He doesn't even know why, frowned Zenobia. That makes no sense. It's a trap, shouted the Emperor. I'll meet you at the outpost, and I'll bring my interrogators. If Reynardo came face to face with the Emperor, maybe he could assassinate him. But maybe it would be smarter and safer to turn Zenobia against her father.
So again, we have two options here, and I guess that you get a different unfolding of the story and maybe ending, depending on which choices you make along the way in the game. That would make a lot of sense because the game's very story heavy. So the first one is go meet the Emperor. Reynardo's irrational decision to find Zenobia after collecting the Sky River's armature turned out to be a disaster, but maybe he could salvage the situation. The Emperor was heading for the Nexus. Reynardo could attempt an assassination. He would let Zenobia take him to the Nexus and then he would escape. Or we could turn Zenobia against her father. He could show her evidence of the Emperor's madness, but they would need to pay a visit to the scientists of the Nexus. He knew exactly what to say to make her listen. So let's see if we can turn Zenobia. I just want to see what the next area looks like.
What are you doing? Asked Zenobia. Did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? He asked her. She shook her head. He told her. His Majesty wanted to bring the lost gods back. They could make him an eater of souls, an immortal. But to seal his bargain with them, he needed a sacrifice. Someone who truly loved him. She was stunned. Furious. You're lying. Under a truce spell? It's a trick. You can't prove that. Take me to the observatory, and I will. What kind of proof could you possibly have? She said as they landed on the Nexus. Your father ritually sacrificed a village, and he left witnesses? The scientists resurrected one. Well, it's not really alive, but it can talk. A true witness. She frowned. The dead can't lie. Well, I bet they could. They just don't have any reason to. She nodded grimly. You go on ahead. I don't want the ravens to see me.
Bring Zenobia to the true witness. Is she not coming? Is she just gonna stand there? I guess so. Alright, we'll head down here. But we're getting to the end of this first look, but so far in the game there's some things that I'm not too impressed with and some things that I really like. Just from playing.
Smashing things was fun.
Up until this part of the game. What I don't like is actually the combat. It feels a little bit shallow, that it's all about parrying and then maybe throwing in a dash here and there. And we've also only seen one enemy type this far into the game, the Raven. And they do the same thing every time. And here they are again. And it's fairly easy to parry when you get the hang of it. So I'm not too impressed with the combat. What I am impressed with is the graphics. I think they're really nice looking, the environments. And I also like the way the story works, that you can choose.
There were stickers all over the platform for really hot lady foxes, with pictures and addresses and everything.
I like that you can choose how to make the story unfold and where to go. And I think the voice acting is pretty good. So I'd say that if you wanted to get this game, it would be because you like the story up until now and would like to see that continued. I don't think that this is a game you'd get as an action RPG only for the combat systems and the leveling up and stuff like that. Alright guys, that's the game. I'll put the link in the description. You can pick it up on Steam if you think it looks interesting. Thank you for watching and I'll catch you all next time.